Hello and welcome to Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC, a weekly podcast and YouTube channel discussing everything Wrexham from the point of view of long-term fans and brand new fans like my wife. So sit back, put your feet up, relax and let's get stuck in.
So hello and welcome back to episode 6 of Me, the Wife and Wrexham AFC.
Yeah. We're just shattered today, to be perfectly honest. We got back from Ibiza at the early hours of this morning, having spent 24 hours awake, almost, give or take. So this could go one or two ways, if we're perfectly honest.
It could be the worst episode.
Could be the best, or something else. Who knows? Kick off with the news, I think, this week.
Yes.
So we had the whole National League streaming debacle this week. So Ryan Reynolds had obviously sort of put it out there that they wanted to stream the Gateshead game. He then tweeted that just a complete lack of response really from the National League.
Yeah.
Why? And then we had all sorts of. It just all blew up, really, didn't it? People going, who does he think he is? Coming over here. Not Wrexham fans, just in general. Yes, there are rules in place. Do you know about the 3 p.m. Sort of media blackout?
Yeah, I know that they for some reason, and it's not just the National League; it's for Premier as well. They're not allowed to film out.
Yeah.
To film any game at 3 o'clock kickoff.
Yeah. So, do you understand the reasons why?
Is it to make games more accessible to everybody, or
no? Because not necessarily. Because the argument would be if you streamed them, they'd be accessible to everybody, wouldn't they? So the argument is that when all the sort of TV stuff started, with Sky back in the day, they basically put a media blackout in this country for 3 p.m. games because they felt if all the games were going to be on TV, it would stop people going to the actual games. And then basically you could have this sort of decline in sort of people attending games, and then you'd end up in a position where certain clubs, possibly some in the National League now, would end up with no fans because they just sit at home and just watch.
I find that hard to believe though, because the past couple of games we've obviously been away, so we've listened to them on the radio. Yeah. And we had a conversation with your dad earlier on today, and I feel that listening to it on the radio or watching it on the TV just doesn't give you the same.
It doesn't.
Feeling as it would as if you were there live watching it at the racecourse or wherever they are.
I feel that sort of supports the point. It doesn't. It's not the same, is it? Listening on the radio,
no, not at all.
It's much better to watch it. So if you can't watch it on TV, what's the only way that you're going to do it?
Yeah,
you're going to go to the game. Yeah. Look, it's a bit weird for us at the moment because, especially for you, because the ground's always been full. So you understand the argument from the point of view well, there's people here who can't watch this game, so why can't they stream that game?
Yeah.
Yes, that makes sense. We're quite privileged. We can fill our ground. A lot of teams up and down the country can't fill their grounds. If you allow them to then stream games,
it's going to be even worse.
It'll be even worse for them. Yes, it works for us because there's people who can't get to the games and there's people who are missing out watching them. They want to be able to stream it.
Yeah.
I think Ryan Reynolds' point on this was, look, we're not just looking to benefit ourselves. We're looking to benefit everybody within the league. Yeah. Then there's a flip point to that of, if we get promoted this season,
we're going to be on telly.
We're going to be in League 2.
So it's going to be the same.
So all the National League teams are going, well, if they get promoted this season, who's helping us next season? Who's helping us out with all this? This sort of money. Yeah. So look, we're not going to go too deep into this. No. There are two very valid sides to this argument.
Yeah.
And I do completely understand both. I would have loved that the Gateshead game we could stream it because we were in Ibiza on Tuesday. Would have been really nice to stream that game
and the Dorking game as well.
Yeah, and it would be nice to do that, but I understand also the reasons why we can't do that, because it would be, it wouldn't necessarily benefit smaller clubs.
Well, the Gateshead was a night game though, wasn't it? So
it was, so it could have been, but there's also the argument of, I was going to read out the full National League sort of statement that they put out there. Just
have a look at it yourself.
Yeah, have a look. Yeah, Google it, have a look. It was a strange timing of that as well. Ryan Reynolds has said, look, we were trying to do this. They're not getting back to us. We don't know what's going on. And then the National League a few days later said, oh, we've been working on this for a few months. Seemed a little bit weird. I'm not being pessimistic and saying they haven't been, but the timing was a little bit strange.
Coincidental.
Very coincidental.
Yeah.
And look, I get both sides of this argument.
Yeah.
I really, really do. And I understand how it will benefit some, potentially not benefit others. And I think how it could be, it could have a negative effect on some clubs. So I don't want to put us out there as supporting or, against it, because look, it's a very valid argument. But so, yeah, I think something is coming.
We'll wait and see.
We will wait and see. And I think it's going to be something that hopefully will benefit all clubs.
Yeah.
And not just us. Who knows? But I'm sure that will resurface in news very soon. Yeah,
so next in the news,
yes,
it's been released that Declan Swans are going to be putting their Always Sunny in Wrexham on vinyl.
Yes.
And releasing it on vinyl.
They are.
And pre-orders are available on Diggers Factory.
Diggers Factory, yeah. So obviously it's quite a famous song. Well, not famous, but everyone connected to Wrexham knows the song. They just decided to put a vinyl pressing out of that. I've pre-ordered that. So yeah, no, that'd be really good. It'd be good to get it in the charts as well.
That'd be amazing. Can you imagine it being number one in the charts?
Yeah, I think they're waiting to sell all the pre-orders first before they actually press it and get it out there. It is available on Apple Music and all that sort of stuff as well, so you can get streaming that. I'm not really sure how the charts work these days. It always used to be selling CDs and tapes when I was a kid. And then whoever sold the most, it was like...
I think it's the number of downloads or streams.
Yeah,
or
all that.
We're so old.
We are so old.
So old.
No, but it's a great song. And like Sian said, you can go on to Diggers Factory. Just Google Diggers Factory and then search for Always Sunny in Wrexham on there, and you'll get to pre-order that. So that's great. Little bit of player news. So Dior Angus has gone to Harrogate this week. Loss?
For me, not really, because I haven't seen him play that much.
No.
If at all. Have I seen him playing at all? See, he hasn't had that much of an effect on me to kind of remember him.
I think he's had a bit part to play, to be honest. He's, the odd little sub appearance here and there that you probably would have seen. I think we saw on the documentary, which we'll talk about in a minute, they showed a little bit of the Southend game, which was the start of last season.
Yeah.
He scored in that, but they didn't show our goals. They just showed the two Southend goals. He scored in that game. I think he started that game.
That seems a bit weird, though, that they didn't show
goal. But no, I think he started that game. He definitely scored in that game anyway. So, very much bit part. I can't see, since Sam Dalby come in, Phil obviously likes Sam Dalby.
Yep.
I think we've got...
Who did he play for, Sam Dalby?
Southend.
I remember he
scored
one
against
of the
us in that game.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately, we're set up front. We got Mullin, we got Palmer. They're the ones who are going to play.
Yep.
If we want to rest one of them for a little bit, Dalby's the one that's going to come off the bench. I don't think Dior's really going to get much game time.
So it's kind of...
Again, we're just cutting... I hate using the word deadwood, but I think we are just sort of trimming off the players who are not really going to feature that heavily in the squad. I think we kind of...
Because of where we're wanting to go, I think... it is an awful thing to say, but we do need to kind of cut off the people that aren't going to, benefit. So anyway, moving on. I did a post on our Instagram and Facebook page about this. Elliot Lee getting goal of the month in August. For me, and I believe for you as well. I mean, it was an awesome goal assisted by Ollie Palmer.
I think that before don't tar me with any brush here.
No.
I think that was goal of the month for me.
Really?
Yeah, well, definitely. I thought it was a great goal.
See, I think Hayden's 2 headers.
You can't give 2 different headers goal of the month, can you?
All right, one of them then.
Which one?
The first one.
Which one? Woking? First Woking one?
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know. Yeah, it was a good header, and I don't think it's goal of the month. I mean, Elliot at least curled it in from the edge of the box.
Assisted by Ollie Palmer, though. This is what annoys me, right?
We can have this conversation again.
I know, but like Ollie Palmer assisted that goal.
Yeah.
Where's his recognition for that? If it wasn't for Ollie Palmer, would Elliot Lee have got that goal in? I think not.
No, fair enough. But wow, what do you want? What do you want from this situation?
There should be a goal of the month and assist of the month, and Ollie Palmer should have got it for that goal.
Oh, boring, though, isn't it? Who wants an assist of the month? All right, yeah, fair enough. I get what you're saying, but
then then you're kind of looking, well, who passed it to Ollie? Who passed it to the person who passed it to Ollie?
It's a team effort up to the point when the goal of the month or the goal of the season was scored, wasn't it?
And I guess someone has to win it.
Put your stupid ideas back in the box. We're not having assist of the month.
I think we should have assist of the month.
Anyway.
Just putting it out there for you.
Boring. Anyway, right. So it's been confirmed this week that now this is quite big news, and I think this is a good stepping stone forward. That 3 Wales teams are going to play games at the racecourse. Now, I'm not going to belittle it in any way. As a statement, you go, "Oh, that's good."
But then you read a bit more into it.
You read a little bit more into it. It's the under-19s, it's the under-21s. I think it's the women's team as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, it's not the teams that you necessarily go, yes, I want to go and see that. But I'm not being horrible there. But if you go, right, I'm going to go and see Wales, you want to go and watch like the Wales team that, you want to see Ramsey, you want to see Bale and all that. Again, I'm not belittling the other teams, but that's who you want to see. Now, I'm just being a little bit greedy, I think. And this is I am though, but this is a great stepping stone, I think, onto stuff like that. And, getting... we got a full international for the women. You got the under-19s, you got the under-21s, and I think when these tickets go on sale, I just think we need to be at these games. We need to fill that stadium. I think just to show
the under-19s or whatever are possibly the future of the first team, aren't
they?
they?
Oh yeah, completely. And I think we've got to get that ground full and show why we want international football here.
Why it's worthwhile that they've actually gone for this.
Yeah, I think it's, you can't really go, look, we don't get any international football in North Wales. And then when we get it, go, I'm not going. That.
Yeah.
You've got to support all of the international teams, all of the international football. And I would urge anybody out there who's thinking, do I really want to go and watch? Yeah, just go. Get a ticket, let's go along and let's show why North Wales needs more international football.
I feel like I need to sing now, like, the Whitney Houston, "Children Are Our Future." Yeah?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Shall we swiftly move on to the documentary?
No, because I've got another piece of news.
Oh,
I've got another piece. I have, yes.
Kept that one quiet?
I did. It's exciting, sort of. It's a bit weird, but it's exciting. So we've talked about the Apple podcast charts a little bit here and there. Now we never really do that well on the Spotify ones, do we?
No, not really.
That's not changed. We're still not doing that well because even though our podcast is more successful on Spotify than it is on Apple, much more popular, but we never get in the charts on there because they don't break them down into categories. No. Apple do. So on the Apple football podcast charts in Belgium, we are currently number 9 in the charts. We're top 10, baby.
Yeah, high five. Yes.
That was crap. Anyway, so we're number 9. Very bizarre. We've had nobody listen in Belgium up until a couple of weeks ago. Now, the 9th best. Are we the 9th best? Or
yes.
Are we just? Okay.
We are the 9th best.
The 9th best football podcast in Belgium right now. Weird. That's weird.
Bizarre.
If you're listening in Belgium, hello. Hello.
Oh, we should have learned what hello is in Belgium.
Oh, it's too late now, isn't it? We're recording.
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
I know that's German, but they're quite close to each other, aren't they?
I'm sure they speak French in Belgium.
Oh, all right. Bonjour.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Belgique. I don't know. We may be being really offensive. Anyway, thank you. We did say we haven't had much sleep, and this is
we're delirious.
Yes,
we are.
Let's move on. Hello, Belgium. Thank you for listening. Let's move on. Documentary.
See, we only got to watch this morning because obviously we couldn't watch it while we were away because
which is ridiculous, by the way. We're in Ibiza, Spain, and we got to Thursday. We're having a couple of beers, and we thought, let's watch the documentary at the bar. You know, our little lad was doing whatever he was doing, playing some games or whatever, and we're like, let's watch the documentary. As it turns out, you can't watch it when you're in Spain. You can watch Disney Plus, but it wasn't on there, was it? Anyway, ranting, move on.
Phil Parkinson.
Yeah.
He was obviously introduced to the documentary and like obviously the journey and everything.
Yeah.
How do you think he came across?
I thought he come across really well.
I really liked him.
I really liked him as well.
And one thing that we didn't know, and I'm not sure whether anybody else did, but he actually said no. For the first time he was approached, he said no.
I didn't know that.
No.
I didn't until I watched it this morning. And it was Humphrey Kerr, wasn't it? He was saying how they'd identified him. They went after him. They approached him. And he said no. And we were like, oh. I'm not sure I knew that he'd said no.
He was, I think that what they said was he was worried that it was going to be like, Rob and Ryan have come in, putting all this money in, and then 18 months down the line, they're just going to like go, oh, actually, this isn't for me. And then it would all just crumble around them. But I think Rob McElhenney rang him up, talked to him, and basically talked him around, which I think he's a really, really good negotiator. He should be in the police.
Or in sales.
Or sales.
Yeah. No, I think he's doing all right in the career he's in, to be fair, without moving to it for the police or something. Anyway, no, I think Rob's, I'm a big fan of Rob, and I think Rob's very much, I'm not sure, I found it a bit surprising, really, that when you've got a person in that position, they put some money in, they don't necessarily need to be that involved. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'll ring him, I'll speak to him. And they've done that on a few occasions. I was quite chuffed with that.
I mean, how many, co-chairmen or, do that?
A few, I'd say.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure many chairmen has got the profile that...
Can you imagine, like, oh, hi, it's Rob McElhenney. Hi.
Yeah, I know. But no, I thought...
Ryan, Ryan or Rob, if you want to give me a ring... Just,
I thought Phil come across really well.
He did. I do actually like Phil, and I think he was quite humble, and I know people are really negative towards him, which,
Not everyone.
No.
I think, it's like we've talked before, I think when you have a bad performance, it always goes back to the manager.
It does.
And I think when you have a good performance, it's usually, it's the players, and it's just the way it is. But I liked him in the dressing room as well. I felt like he had the right level. He knew how to control being angry. He knew when to step it up. I just liked him as a person. I thought he was I felt like he was
a nice guy.
A nice guy. Yeah.
We like you, Phil.
We do indeed. How do you feel about sort of learning about the fans' lives, as it were? The reason I ask, we obviously this week they followed Sean, didn't they? Now we know Sean.
Yes.
Not really well, but we do know Sean, and whenever we see him, he says hello, we say hello back. And so it's interesting to see somebody on the documentary that But how do you feel about... Sorry, I've picked this drink up and I haven't even drank it. How do you feel about getting to know about... Because there was some quite personal stuff about him in there. How do you think that adds to the documentary? Do you think that's a worthwhile thing to be doing in
I do, 100%. Because at the end of the day, Wrexham is like... a community, and going to the football, like Sean said in the documentary, he said that when we were in lockdown and he wasn't going to the football, it had a massive effect on his mental health well-being.
Yeah.
And I think that is true for a lot of people. And I just think I think we, it's so good for other people around the world, wherever this is, the documentary's been shown, even though we have got Rob and Ryan as our co-chairman, there are we have real people who have real lives, real
concerns, real problems,
problems within their life and stuff like that, and how a little Wrexham football club, can help to get somebody through a week, through a day, whatever, to kind of.
So what you're saying is it's more than just a game, isn't it, really?
Yes, Ryan, I'm saying it's more than just a game.
I think it's a good point to just drop something in here. Well, I do talk about it every week, but Wrexham do something called Dragon Chat.
Yeah. And
Dragon Chat is about men's mental health, and they run a Zoom call every week. And, I think it intertwines quite well here that, obviously Sean had mentioned about mental health and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
There are resources within the club to help people. And as I say, I would definitely check out Dragon Chat for something like that. Veering off slightly, but I think it's worth sort of dropping that in there.
So, my opinion about people, talking about personal lives of fans, I think if they're willing to divulge certain information, I think it's really good to kind of make it a more personable journey for those sort of people.
Yeah, yeah. What about Paul Mullin?
I love Paul Mullin.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's...
Move on, yeah?
Yes.
Hey,
End of. No, I think, I mean, a lot of people said this, but he came, he comes across like really, kind of grounded and, and he's a dad. And ultimately people were saying that he came to Wrexham because he was offered loads and loads of money. But I think ultimately it was just because he wanted to be close to his family. His family, his little unit of his wife and his son are like incredibly important to him.
Just to touch on that, I everything that Paul Mullin says, I think he comes across as a very genuine person. And I really do. I think he's a genuine person. I don't think he mentioned about 60 grand a week to go and play in China, for example. And I do believe that, can I honestly be away from my family, he said, just to earn money? I believe everything he says. Just to touch on the money a little bit, because it's not really something we've discussed. So he obviously had reasons why he wanted to come to Wrexham, drop down the leagues, and, when he could have gone the other way, he could have gone to the Championship, he could have gone forward, he'd had a great season. Do you think every player that comes is buying into the journey and the vision of the club? Now, I don't want to single anybody out. We've had a lot of players come in who've come from League One or League Two, who, potentially could be looking at moving their career in that direction and not necessarily turning around and dropping down a league or two. Do you think everyone's intentions are always the right intentions? Or do you think, and again, I don't want to mention players, do you think sometimes it just is about the money?
Absolutely, of course it is.
Yeah.
I mean, some people, especially I'm sure there's lots of young single players in the team, and I'm sure that money's a big thing. But then you kind of think, if it is all about money and they're getting approached by, I don't know, a Premier. Do we call it Premiership or Premier League?
Premiership was years ago.
I know.
So it's the Premier League.
So so if somebody approaches you from a Premier League, team?
Yeah.
Don't know why I did that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Then you can and they go to. I know I'm taking my time to explain this, but I'm trying to.
No. The reason I'm just sort of trying to jump in is I'm not necessarily talking about players who have the ability to move forward in their league in from where they are. So say you've got a League One player,
right?
I'm not talking necessarily about them moving up to the Championship or up to the Premier League, but they are definitely good enough to stay in the league they're in, which is League One.
Right.
I'm talking more about the players who could be more than comfortable staying in League One, but decide to drop back 2 divisions, so they don't have the option of moving forward. But I would say they most definitely have the option of staying where they are. Them players are the ones that I do sometimes I'm a little bit concerned about, as to, are they just coming back to collect some money
and then say bye-bye?
And then say bye-bye.
Possibly, but I think if regards to Paul Mullen, I think he genuinely, all right, yeah, he wanted to be closer to home, but I think since he's, arrived at Wrexham, I think he genuinely loves the club.
He does, and I think, but the thing with Mullen is, what we've sort of had with Mullen is people going, right, he can go to the Championship. Sorry, what? He's gone to National League? That's weird. But since that has happened, we've had an explanation as to why that's happened. Yeah. He was living in Cambridge. All his family are in Merseyside. Oh, hello. There's a club who can probably pay me more than what I'm on in League Two, and I can be 45 minutes away from home. So that as we've had an explanation around that story. We get why he's at this club. It's not just about money. But if you think about, we haven't really had that for other players, have we? We've had them drop down. We've had them on whatever wages they are, because people can say what they want. Nobody knows what anyone's on.
No, apart from the player themselves.
So what I'm trying to say is, for me, there's always an element of concern of their motivation behind coming here. Is it just a payday for people? Because let's be honest, football doesn't last forever. Do you know what I mean? If you're an electrician, you can work till you're 65 or 70. You can't do that in football. So sometimes you have to wonder, are people just grabbing whatever opportunity comes their way to make as much money as they can and then move on? Possibly. I can't remember how this point started. We've just talked, haven't we?
Well, we've got a point. Basically, what in the documentary, there was a few of the players that lived together.
Yeah, no, I do want to talk about this.
Yeah. One of the points that we wanted to talk about was, I was actually quite surprised of how many of those actually lived in the same house.
Jesus Christ, I know.
I don't know, obviously, if you watch the documentary, it was like such and such and such. There was about 6.
5, I think there was. 5 in one house. Now, them 5 people, I don't think came across very well.
They didn't, which was shocking.
Very unprofessional. The way they were talking, it was very much lads together, which they were because they're all living in the same house. Very much lads together, having a laugh at somebody else's expense. Who, yes, you have to understand, they were having a laugh sort of at the expense a little bit of a player they didn't really know, because he'd only just come in.
Ponticelli actually was quite, he
didn't know. But I don't know if you noticed, pretty much all of them players have gone now.
Yes.
Now, I thought I didn't like that, because it felt very much like sour grapes against the player who's coming in, and I didn't like it. It made them look a bit silly, I think.
Childish. I mean, they were young, weren't they?
But here's a point that I can swing back around to, in the sense of, we never really know much about players' personalities. Now, there was always talk about, why isn't Cam Green getting a game? Why isn't Tyler French getting a game? Now, my point to the people who always brought this up, and I'm not slandering either of them 2 players, people were always asking, why aren't they playing? When they play, they seem to play very well. My point on this is, you don't know what their personality is like. You see them on the pitch. You see them doing interviews,
which is always kind of media, like trained.
Rehearsed. You don't know what they're like. You don't know if they are disruptive in training. You don't know if they're turning up late. You don't know if. And I think what you saw in that little group of players, I think, give a little bit of an insight into why they weren't playing, because I think it gave an insight into their character and their personality. Now, I am not saying that is the reason they weren't playing, but it definitely pointed towards something in them players of why Phil didn't fancy playing them. And I think people have always got to remember that, oh my God, why isn't he playing? Why aren't we playing this person? There may be a very good reason why we're not playing this person.
I mean, as much as this documentary does kind of go behind the scenes, the journey and stuff like that, I don't think we're ever going to 100% kind of know everything.
No,
we're not. The players, because they deserve their private life as well. Obviously.
That's why it's so hard to sort of, to sort of comment sometimes as to why players aren't playing.
Yeah.
You could have a really talented player in your team who always turns up late. When he does turn up, he's disruptive. He's not really that interested in sort of making friends within the team, in doing it. When you're training certain things, he's not interested. And then people are wondering why they're not playing. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors, I think, ultimately.
Yeah.
How does it feel for you? This was an interesting one. When I was watching it today, I thought about, how does it feel reliving a season that doesn't necessarily end the way that you want it to? It
honestly feels like watching your favourite film, even though you know the ending of it.
I like that.
But kind of, you know the end of it, but you still get that, like, if it's a sad ending or something, or the boy or the girl don't get together, or do you know what I mean?
Titanic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I still think that Jack could have got on that door, but anyway. So yeah, it's that sort of feeling, even though you know the result, the ending of the season last season, it's still kind of, you feel really like.
I like that. That's a good point. That. Yeah,
I'm good with these analogies, aren't I?
Yeah, I like that, because there's films that I will definitely watch again and again. I know what the end is, but I will definitely watch them again and again.
You'll never watch Titanic, though, will you?
No, hate it.
We all know what the ending is anyway, even if you don't watch it.
I'm gonna tell you something. Even before I watched the film, I knew what the ending was. So the only just one last point about the documentary. When it obviously discussed small little snippets of cost and what it takes to run a club. Were you surprised by how much stuff costs?
Well, initially when they were talking about the cost of the pitch, I thought they said £1,000, and I was like,
you did? You went, 1,000's not much, is it? And I said, it's 100,000.
I was like, all right, okay. So obviously at the end, like the first time they paid out £100,000, it didn't quite work the pitch.
Yeah.
So then I think in total it was like £300,000.
Which is mad, isn't it?
Which is like, I think they put like a little thing at the bottom saying $364,000, something.
Yeah.
Which, it's a lot of money for some grass.
It is a lot of money for some grass. But here's what, do you know me? I like to complain when stuff isn't quite right.
Oh my God, yes.
Right, if something's not quite right, complain, right? They spent $100,000 on a pitch, and then it wasn't quite right. Wouldn't you be ringing them back and going, this pitch isn't right, can I have my $100,000 back, please? I found that a little bit. You don't know what goes on.
We don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So that possibly could have happened, and the people who lay it went, sorry, no.
Maybe. Yes. I'm not sure.
Not everyone bows down to complaints.
No, they don't, as well, I know. But yeah, so, okay, but it was good. We've seen 3 and 4. Good.
Loving it so far.
Enjoyed it, and we can't wait for this Thursday. So looking forward to that.
Yes.
So we've had 2 games while we've been away.
I know. Do you know what? It's been heart-wrenching, especially the Gateshead game, because obviously we would have been there.
We would have been there, yeah.
And it was 3-1 win.
And it's another goal for Ollie as well, which we were happy about, because obviously he struggled to get off the mark, and then he scored last week.
He's just knocking them left, right and centre now, isn't he?
He is, yeah. I think one thing that was a bit of a killer, it was the same sort of thing as the Woking game. They went down to 10 men quite early. So it's 29 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
And I think people forget how hard it can be to play against 10 men. Mentally, as much as anything, because if the team you're playing go down to 10 men, it's very difficult to have the right mindset to go, right, okay, we should be beating you, right? So you're ploughing on, you're going, this isn't happening how I thought it would, because we've got an extra man. That's not how it works with an extra man, because they will set up completely differently to how you expected them to. Then what will happen is, you have to have patience with 10 men, and you have to stretch 10 men. So you play it right. You make them run. They've got to run further because they've got less men on the ball, and you've got to tire them out, and your chances come a little bit later in the game. That's just how it works with 10 men. I think some people sometimes think, right, okay, they're down to 10 men. We're going to score 9 now. It doesn't really work like that.
It'd be nice if it worked like that.
Obviously, because we went there this week, we got our reporter
our little eyes
on the game.
Eyes on the game.
We mentioned Nigel before. He gets in touch very regularly, Nigel. So thank you very much again this week, Nigel. He sent us his sort of analysis of the game, didn't he? Because we couldn't be there. He said that we lacked a bit of creativity in midfield.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, until Elliot Lee came on. And he said, to be fair, Gateshead played a lot better after they went down to 10 men. So I get the creative. I need to stop saying that word. I get that. Lee is going to create a lot for us when he comes on.
Yeah.
And then people always get in this argument of, oh, well, he should be starting then. And then he starts and he doesn't really do anything. And then, you sort of go round in circles a little bit with that one. I do think we are still lacking to a degree in midfield. I think we're missing something. I'm not quite 100% sure what it is. I think we're missing a bit of an animal in midfield, like a horrible player who knows the National League. I just think that's what you're missing to get out of this league.
Who would you choose for that?
Oh, Roy Keane. Not now. I mean, obviously not now. I mean, he's too old. But I mean, like a Roy Keane, a little bit. A player that people are going to go, oof, don't want to play against him. Because I don't think we've got any one of them. I think people look at our midfield and there's nobody in there that other teams would go, oh, gee, don't want to play against them. That we haven't got that player. No. And I think, you do run the risk of sometimes with someone like a Roy Keane.
Getting sent off constantly.
You're going to get, there's going to be a few reds in there, quite a few yellows over the course of the season. I just think that's what we're missing, though. A bit of grit in the middle.
I think the boys that are, do play at the moment, they do have that passion, that.
It's not grit, that, though, is it?
I think some of them do have. I think Paul Mullen's got grit.
Yeah, a bit too much grit sometimes.
Sometimes, but
he's. I just think you miss that a little bit in the middle.
Yeah.
A little bit in the middle. But that was another. Obviously it was another sort of 3 points in the bag, and we move forward. Thank you very much for Nigel to getting in touch. Just a quick point on that. If anybody does want to get in touch, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or email us at me, the wife, and Wrexham AFC @gmail.com. Bang! Got it in one. So anyone who wants to get in touch, get in touch. Second game of the week this week.
Do you know what? For some reason, I know it was Dorking. I knew it was Dorking, but for some reason, I kept saying Woking. Just Woking was in my head, and I don't know why. So everybody, I was, posting on Instagram and stuff like that, and I was saying, "Oh yeah, Woking." No, it's Dorking. Oh my God, it's Dorking.
Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, second 5-0 of the season.
Yes, it's second 5-0 of the season. I think that's important. We just got to keep ploughing on.
Fourth win of the season as well. In a row, I mean.
Yes, it was. And Ollie scored another 2, so he scored 4 in 3 now.
I think he thought he got the hat-trick though, didn't he? But
he did,
it was an own goal by, what's his name, Luke? Was it an own goal?
I think it was. I can't remember. Luke Moore.
Luke Moore. Yeah, but that was a bit controversial, wasn't it? Because they weren't exactly sure whether it was Ollie Palmer who got the goal or if it was an own goal.
We were listening to it and they give it to Jordan Davis at first. And then they give it to Ollie Palmer and then it was an own goal. So I'm not 100% sure.
We'll take it.
We will take it. So, it was the first goal for Mendy as well, which is great. I like the way that we're spreading goals around the team a little bit. Having said that, I think we did that very well last season. Mullin obviously got a lot. Ollie got a lot when he come in, but I do feel like we spread the goals around a little bit. We could do it more, but I mean, definitely think
a 5-0 win is like, it's not too shabby, that is it?
It's not too shabby.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
But I think as well, they listen. Well, obviously, you can't really get the same kind of ambience, whatever you call it.
Ambience, yeah.
Yeah. Listening to it as you do when you're there.
No.
But they sounded like they played their asses off.
Yeah, they did.
Don't know why I went into an American accent.
No, they did. Yeah, they did. But I think, again, without sort of getting too carried away, I think teams like Dorking, you should be looking to be putting them away nice and easily the way we did. No disrespect to Dorking, but they were very much, I think they've very much overachieved to get where they are. They had a plan in their head of what they wanted to do. And I don't think that plan quite included getting promoted last season. I think they had, step by step by step, they knew where they were going with the club. And then they got promoted last season. I think it's a little bit too early for them. And I think they just didn't quite expect to come up.
Good luck to them, though.
Good luck to them. But I think I do maybe get a feeling they might go back down. But there we go. But so the Dorking manager did something. Dorking boss did something really nice as well, didn't he? He turned up at a pub and chucked 300 quid behind the bar for a tab.
Which, it didn't go unnoticed by Ryan, because he tweeted and thanked him for that, and he said that hopefully we'll return the favour one day. Yeah,
I think maybe just wanted a bit on the documentary. No, I'm just being cynical, but it's nice when people do that. And it's, it is really nice. If he can have a bit on the documentary if he wants.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I'd been there.
Yeah, I know. So, we've got Maidenhead on Saturday.
Cannot wait.
I know. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Tell me something about them.
Okay, well, last season they finished 17th.
17th, yes.
And they are 17th.
Currently.
Okay. So obviously that could change as the season progresses.
Yes.
We played them last October.
Yeah.
Away.
Yes.
And we lost 3-2.
That was that was Rob and Ryan's first game.
It was.
It was their first game. Yes. I remember that. They turned up first game, they went to that and we had Bryce Osana that got sent off.
He did. He got a red card.
Yeah, and that later got rescinded, didn't it? And it got given to
Mullen.
To Mullen, yeah. Because obviously Hosanna and Mullen look the spit of each other, so that's why the ref got them two mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
So the three goals that were scored at that away game were Ferdinand, who is still at Maidenhead.
Yeah.
Mingy, I'm not sure if I said that right. When I first read it, something else popped into my head, but we'll stick with Mingy.
Mingy, okay,
He is now with Portsmouth, so we don't need to worry about him.
Yeah.
And the last, one of the other goals was by Kelly. I'm assuming that's his surname.
Yeah.
And he is now with Solihull Moors.
Oh right, okay. So they've shipped quite a few players out there.
So we probably need to maybe worry about Ferdinand, but the other two
related to Rio.
I don't think so.
No, okay. No, well, he might be. So. It's quite a footballing family.
They are a footballing family. And then the home game was January of this year.
Yes.
And we drew 1-1.
Okay.
And Mullen got a red card again.
Really?
He did, yes.
So he got sent off twice last season, and they were both against Maidenhead.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there you go. And
you learn something every day.
So Mullen got sent off, and Hayden scored the goal.
Yeah.
Goal. And McClowski scored the goal for Maidenhead. He still plays for Maidenhead, and he was the top scorer for Maidenhead last season.
Now I remember this. They scored late as well, didn't they?
They
scored
did.
It, really late. We went down to Mullen got sent off. Then I think Hayden scored.
Yep.
And then they scored like in the 92nd, 93rd minute. It was one of them games when you're storming out the ground going, we're just not good enough, are we? We're not good enough. Well, yeah, well, I was anyway, I think.
I know, I don't think I was.
No, but yeah, right. So if you're a betting man, maybe bet on Mullen to get sent off this weekend.
No, we don't want him to get sent off.
I don't want him to, but he obviously loves getting sent off against them, doesn't he?
Right. Well, yeah, but no, Mullen, please do not get sent off.
No, okay.
We need you.
We do need you. So, so predictions?
I'm going to predict, kind of looking back at the October game.
Yeah.
We lost, obviously, but I'm going to predict a 3-2 win to us.
So we're conceding 2 at home, that's what you think? No, you stuck with it now. That's it. I'm just questioning.
We've been really bad with the predictions, though.
I'm going to go for 3-0.
Can I change?
Nope.
Okay.
Said it now. Too late.
I hope you're right.
Yes.
And I'm wrong.
So do I. Your terrible guess. Okay, so quiz.
It's quiz time.
It's quiz time.
We need a jingle, don't we, for this?
Yeah, if you like. Yeah. Okay, so
moving swiftly on.
Yeah, so this is out of 10 again. Okay.
Is it 1, 2, 3, 4 again?
It's not the 1, 2, 3, 4 this week. I'm doing goal scorers again. So, so this season, 7 players have scored for Wrexham.
Okay.
Okay. Name the 7.
Okay. Mendy.
1.
Mullin.
2.
Parma.
3.
Hayden.
4.
Jordan.
5.
Jordan Davis. Lee.
6.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I went like that with my finger then because I thought I got 7.
You're just gonna go. Yeah, I've got it.
Oh my god. I'm
not going to help you because you've done well with 6. So I'm not going to.
I'm just going to throw it out there. Young.
No.
I just really want him to score.
Tozer scored against Gateshead.
Oh, of course he did.
Yes.
Damn.
So.
Hey, 6 out of 7 is not bad though, is it?
It's not at all.
That ain't too shabby.
No, that's a very good start. So, one player in that list has already equalled his tally for the goals scored last season for Wrexham.
Okay, well, that's not Mullin. Or is it? Mullin? No.
What, you think Mullin scored like 5 goals?
Oh, yeah.
That's a very silly answer. I'm going to let you off and I'm going to let you guess again.
That.
Yes.
I'm going to say Tozer.
Correct. He scored 1 goal last season. He has already scored 1 this season.
Boo, 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 boo.
Doing very well. Okay, so 5 players. Okay.
Stop with the multiple players.
5 players.
Yes.
Scored last season, but have so far failed to score this season. Just a little caveat. Obviously, they are players that are still in the squad. So 5 players scored last season. Oh no, sorry. 4 players scored last season who have currently failed to score this season. You just need to name 2.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, just to round it off to 10.
Right. Jordan Davis.
No, he was already in the list. You've named him.
Oh yeah, you whispered it, didn't I?
Yeah, go on, I'll let you off. Go on.
Young.
No, Young didn't score last season. He was on a big fat 0.
Don't talk about Young like that. Oh my goodness, last season.
It's a distant memory for you now. Last season, is it?
Oh yeah, I'm all about the future. Children. Cleworth.
No.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
No. One more guess.
Jones.
Jones? Yes, James Jones.
Okay.
You can have that one. You're not having more guesses. You can just go through the whole team. So this week, you've ended up with 8 out of 10.
Boom.
The players who scored last season, who have currently failed to score this season, Reece Johnson, James Jones, which you got, Liam McAlinden, and Harry Lennon. Yeah, we haven't really seen Harry Lennon yet, have we, this season? Or McAlinden. We saw him in pre-season, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
See, this is the out of mind, out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind. Oh, my God.
Oh, God. Well, thank you very much for for tuning in this week. I hope it hasn't been too weird. Because if I'm honest, I'm just shattered and we need some sleep, don't we? So,
I'm going for a kip now.
Yes. So thank you very much and we will see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.